Hi, I'm Jim Bearden, and this is Lesson 4 in Leadership at the Points of Contact, a series of 5 to 6 minute videos designed to help you function more effectively as an organizational leader. In this section of the program, we're looking at a key role that organizational leaders play, and that is to consciously create a culture that reinforces and supports behavior essential to your organization's success. In previous lessons, we've looked at culture, what it is. We've looked at the gap that exists in most organizations between their professed culture and the actual culture, the words and phrases on foundational documents compared with the behavior of the people working in that organization. We have said that as leaders, one of our key roles is to acknowledge, to identify that gap, and to close the gap between the professed culture and the culture that is actually present in your organization. In this lesson, we're going to look at the very first step, the first of 6 steps that effective leaders take to consciously create what we've referred to as hero-friendly cultures. Before we get into this step, let's acknowledge another gap. And that's the gap between our expectations with regard to what other people are going to do and what they actually do. Now, I'm not saying that the gap always exists, but if you are a leader in almost any area of life, whether it's in the workplace or in the home or in the community, you have probably experienced situations in which the people who you expected to behave in a certain way behave differently. The question then is, why do people fall short of our expectations? Why is it that people don't behave in the ways we expect? And as I see it, there are 3 possible explanations. See if this makes sense to you. The first explanation is people know what we expect and they're unable to meet our expectations. Now, I know that would be a sad situation, but inevitably we are going to encounter that. And would you agree that is indeed one explanation? They know what we expect and they're unable to meet our expectations. Number 2, they know what we expect and they're unwilling. Ideally, this is going to be the exception rather than the rule. Nevertheless, it can be an explanation. And the third explanation, well, what do you think it is? You're right. They don't know what we expect. I know you may find this hard to believe, but I'm willing to bet you that in your organization where there is a gap between what you expect and what's getting done, that in more cases than not, it's because the people of whom you expect those things aren't clear on exactly what you expect, which takes us nicely to the very first step in consciously creating a culture, and that would be to ensure that people understand exactly what you expect. Now look, it would be impossible for you or any other leader to specifically define everything you expect people to do in every possible scenario or situation. However, it is quite possible and it is essential for you to narrow that down a little bit and take a look at what are some situations in which employee behavior is especially important to our success. Now, that could be situations like employee interacting with external constituents, customers, members, patients, whatever. It can be situations in which employees interact with other employees. It can be situations, certainly, where employees' behavior has some impact on revenue or revenue generation. So what I'm telling you is pick one of these situations or 2 or 3 situations, and for each one of these situations, I want you to identify exactly the sort of behavior that you expect. Ensuring that people understand what you expect is the first step. Telling them what you expect is how you inform them. The action items get a little longer this week, so here they are. Ready? First, I want you to do just what I said earlier. Identify 2 or 3 situations in which employees' behavior is especially important, using the examples that I cited earlier. After you've identified 2 or 3 such situations, for each of those situations, I want you to describe the specific behaviors you expect. I'm not talking about characteristics of behavior. Don't settle for things like I expect them to be professional or courteous or customer-oriented. I want verbs. Describe exactly what you expect, the specific sorts of behavior that you would look for as evidence of the kind of culture that you want to create. Remember what I've said in the previous lessons. Completing these action items is an essential step to maximizing the learning potential from this program, and I hope you are completing them.